Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
だからこんな手たらくじゃ来年のドラゴンボールの映画も期待できないんじゃない？
それ
本当に。
ね。いや、まあ、中鶴さんにやってほしいですけど。
Guys, we have some breaking news in the Dragon Ball space, and I know when usually you hear breaking news Dragon Ball, for the most part, most people are rolling their eyes because either the news is not real, nothing ever happens with it, and we've been so long without anything Dragon Ball related, it feels like it's just been kind of brushed aside that it's not even worth really talking about. But this is in connection with Torishima and the Dragon Ball store. So if you guys remember, a little bit ago, Torishima went to the Dragon Ball store. I made a couple of videos on it, and he was appalled at the state of things. He was ripping Aoku, who was he's the lead at the Capsule Corporation in Tokyo, the one that manages a lot of Dragon Ball projects in the future of the Dragon Ball franchise. He was ripping a new one to him, saying that he was arrogant. He doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball. He is not the one to succeed. He shouldn't be the one to succeed Toriyama, essentially. Not those words exactly, but essentially that was the air, because he has been Toriyama's right-hand man as his editor for decades. So he was bashing the Dragon Ball store and its aesthetic and the decisions, and even urging people that went to the Dragon Ball store to buy stuff, he was urging them not to buy anything there because it's a trap. So he is completely negative on the future and the extent of Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball store. Well, he had an interview on, maybe not an interview, but a podcast, I guess a Japanese podcast, talking about the Dragon Ball store in general. And he let something slip out. Now, I showed you guys the clip in the beginning without any translation to the Japanese of what he actually said. But what he said is literally the leak to what's going to happen next year for Dragon Ball. He said, with things in such a miserable state, can everyone even look forward to next year's Dragon Ball movie? This is something that he said in connection with what's been happening with the Dragon Ball store and the direction that he sees is the wrong direction for Dragon Ball, specifically with Toriyama gone. And so this is what we got going. This is what we got. And I know a lot of people go in the comments and they start doing what's it called? They start calling you all sorts of names when you post shit like this, because I mean, some of it is because a lot of news has been put out that it didn't pan out. They think that it's fake. This is coming from Torishima's own words, and it's a jab to the future of Dragon Ball. And it makes sense. It's in connection to the store, the designs, the layout, the future of Dragon Ball that he's been talking about. I talked about this in a couple videos ago, that he talks about the future of Dragon Ball in that interview. Some guys in the comment section were like, oh, this is fake, this is, clickbait, blah, blah, blah. No, this is real. He talked about the Dragon Ball store, but also in connection to the future of Dragon Ball. Now he's saying and leaking that there's a Dragon Ball movie coming out next year, and he's saying miserable state as in like everything going on in the background with Aoku, him, and other people that are working with Dragon Ball, and just what he's seen at the Dragon Ball store. He is not like super excited for what's going to happen. So it sounds like he knows that there's a Dragon Ball movie coming out, but it doesn't sound like he knows what it is, what the direction is, what it looks like, what the story is, because I feel like he would say something a little bit more specific if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Because he already spoiled it. He already leaked it. He already said that this is the next year there's going to be a Dragon Ball movie, right? He already said this, but the way that he's saying it is like he doesn't know. Like he doesn't know what it is, basically. He doesn't know what it's going to look like, because he's talking about this in connection to the disaster that is the Dragon Ball store, the disastrous decisions that he sees are disastrous in Dragon Ball. So he knows that there's a project next year. He knows there's a new movie coming out next year, but he doesn't know what it's going to look like, and he doesn't have much faith in it. And maybe he said this, he's drinking something in the clip, and I don't know if it's sake. Maybe he said this because he thinks that it's already been announced. Maybe he's not online. He's been told this and he just let it slip out like Tom Holland does all the time with Avengers and Marvel stuff. But it looks like there's going to be at least from Torishima's perspective, he knows there's a movie coming out and he thinks it's going to be next year, or he's been told that it's going to be next year. He just doesn't have much faith in it because of everything that he's been seeing with the Dragon Ball store. So this is real, guys. This is huge news. We finally got something. And Torishima, again, is Akira Torima's right-hand man for decades. Not anymore, really, but for decades he is now, and he's still in the picture. He's still brought in. He's still someone they consult with. Obviously, they wanted his blessing for the Dragon Ball store, which he did not give. He was extremely harsh in that interview. And I'm going to leave a link to the interview in the description below. You guys can go ahead and check it out. But this is huge. So a movie next year. We don't even have the manga yet. I guarantee you that movie is going to be released, revealed at the convention that comes out in January. I forget the name of it, but it escapes me. But that convention itself, more than likely, that's when they're going to reveal that there's a movie coming out this year. Maybe even have a trailer for it, and then we actually finally get something Dragon Ball-ish coming out next year. And the only thing that I can think of is that it's gotta have to be, unless it's a spin-off, it's gonna have to be past superhero. I'm just hoping that they don't think that I'm just hoping that they don't see the success of superhero, because people love Dragon Ball, as like people signing off on the CGI, because the CGI is good. It's not horrible. I just had a video talking about another artist that painted almost like CGI-esque manga panels. I thought it looked better than superhero, but I would love to go back to like actual hand-drawn 2D animation. That's the future, just like Demon Slayer, just like Chainsaw Man, and just like how Disney is going back to hand-drawn stuff. They're trying to go back to hand-drawn animation. So hopefully they do 2D. That would be my hope right there, that they do. But I think this is gonna go past superhero, right? That's the only thing that makes sense. There was a rumor that was, it's about Vegeta in his past. Nobody cares about that. Vegeta's a character that his story should only propel forward. It should only move forward. And if we see Vegeta in the past, it should be in somebody else's story, like Frieza, who has no past at all. He's got no nuance at all. He's got nothing really going for him at all. So besides Black Frieza and the stuff that we've seen in Dragon Ball. So we don't really know what his inner motives are. We don't know how he cares about his father, his family, anything like that. I would like a Frieza movie if we're gonna go spin-off route. But if we're gonna go future route, I think the only thing that makes sense is to have an End of Z movie where Oob is one of the main characters. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Have it in connection with Daima. I know Daima's extremely confusing because it's supposed to connect before Dragon Ball Super, and yet we're facing off against foes that are like Dragon Ball Super level, and then we have Super Saiyan 4 that never gets brought up again, and the Demon Realm that never gets brought up again. So this movie could bridge that gap, you know what I'm saying? Where we get this movie, this announcement for this movie that is End of Z, right? And it's going to be its own thing. It's going to give us Oob. It's going to give us that World Martial Arts Tournament. Maybe like a confined story that really kind of ties up Daima and Dragon Ball Super's connection really, really strongly, and doesn't leave off any loose ends because we don't need them, right? So this movie would just work as to get us to the level of where we're supposed to be since like 1995 at the End of Z, gets us there, a time skip, where everyone's entering the tournament, maybe a redone version of that. Oob is the main picture, and a villain that is hunting down Oob to get the last essence of Majin from him, or something along those lines. A connection to the Demon Realm that we can get, and maybe we can see Majin Ku again. You know what I'm saying? That would be the direction that I would go. It brings in Dragon Ball Super. It brings in what we've already seen. Hell, you could throw in Janemba. Janemba is from the Demon Realm, essentially, or not even the Demon Realm, but he could be from the Demon Realm. You know what I'm saying? So that would be something cool to see. I would love for that to be it. And then as it's tied up, it's its own nuclear story. The manga could be past that. You know what I'm saying? If the manga starts, it could just be past that, maybe leaving hints to the Demon Realm, maybe not. It doesn't matter, because I would just want that movie to be closed up and tightened. And we kind of already know that the outcome is going to be Goku training Oob, I guess, is possibly the outcome, but at least it gives us a story that connects everything. Maybe, again, throw Janemba in there. That would be the direction I would go. But again, Torishima is not overly impressed with the direction that they seem to be going with other Dragon Ball stuff and other projects and things like that. So he's very pessimistic about this. But again, he just leaked that there's a movie, and that's like the big thing right now. He just leaked that there's a movie. It's coming out. It is what it is, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it is. I'm excited to see if his fears are going to be our fears. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments.
Subscribe for more content.